Today, we delve into a chilling tale of a fire lookout's eerie encounter. Introduction. Today, we will talk about an extraordinary experience in the depths of the wilderness. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The Solitude of the Tower. In the heart of the forest, I stood alone on my fire watch tower. The isolation was total, with the nearest trail miles away. The routine was calming. I had settled into my role, observing the vast wilderness. On August 22nd, 2000, the day began like any other. The morning was clear, and I conducted my equipment checks. Everything was functioning well. I spent the day reading, occasionally glancing at the view. As the sun set, I prepared my dinner and activated the infrared cameras. They were my eyes in the dark, watching for wildlife. The door to my cabin was locked tight, a precaution against intruders. But as night fell, I sensed something was off. The first sign, around 8:20 p.m., a yellow light flickered on my control panel. It was connected to a motion detector in a remote area. I thought it might be a bear, but protocol required me to check. I switched to the long-range camera, scanning the dense trees. Suddenly, I noticed movement. A small figure was moving on two legs. My heart raced. At first, I thought it was a lost hiker, but something felt wrong. The figure moved steadily without hesitation, heading straight for me. I radioed my colleague, Dennis, reporting the strange sighting. His calm voice turned tense as he urged me to lock the door and stay put. Thank you for staying with us. So far, we've explored the initial solitude of the tower and the unsettling appearance of the figure in the woods. Coming up, we'll delve into the eerie events that unfolded as the figure approached. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts or similar experiences with us. The approach. The figure emerged from the trees, revealing a tall, slender silhouette. It climbed the rocky slope toward my tower, and a chill ran down my spine. This was no ordinary hiker. I grabbed the radio again, relaying my observations to Dennis. The figure was intent on reaching my tower. I felt trapped, the heavy steel door behind me offering little comfort. The tension mounted as the figure disappeared from the main camera's view. I switched to the camera facing the staircase, watching the dark figure slowly ascend, step by silent step. My heart raced as I realized the impossibility of the situation. I was locked inside, yet something was climbing toward me. The silence, Dennis's voice crackled through the radio, urging me to stay away from the door. I watched the figure inch closer, its movements unnaturally smooth. As it reached the top of the staircase, it paused at my door. I held my breath, waiting for a knock or a sound, but there was nothing. The figure stood silently, and the silence pressed down on me like a weight. Minutes felt like hours as I stared at the door, listening to my own breathing. The figure was right outside, and I felt utterly helpless. It was no longer a mere presence. It was a looming threat, and I was trapped in this glass cage. The encounter. Suddenly, the figure shifted. It moved along the narrow balcony outside my cabin, gliding without a sound. I felt like a fish in an aquarium, exposed and vulnerable. As it passed my window, I caught a glimpse of its elongated limbs. I radioed Dennis again, describing the figure's eerie grace. He instructed me to remain still and wait for the helicopter. But the figure was now directly above me, on the roof. The metallic creaking echoed in the silence, sending panic coursing through my veins. How could it have climbed up there? I was paralyzed with fear, knowing I was at the mercy of something I couldn't comprehend. The arrival. Finally, the distant sound of helicopter blades reached my ears, a lifeline in the darkness. The spotlight illuminated the area, revealing my empty tower and the silent woods. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. The search team reported no signs of disturbance. I felt like I was losing my mind. I explained everything to Ranger Carl, who listened with a skeptical expression. He agreed to check the roof, but I could sense his doubt. As he ascended, I was left with my thoughts, replaying the night's events. What had I encountered? What had been lurking outside? The discovery. Carl returned with a pale face, confirming the presence of strange footprints on the roof. They were narrow and unusual, leading to the edge and stopping abruptly. It was as if whatever had made them had simply vanished. The implications were staggering. The evidence pointed to something beyond my understanding. I was told to take a leave of absence, but I knew this was just a cover-up. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had stumbled upon something much larger, something that the Park Service wanted to keep hidden. The investigation days turned into weeks as I tried to return to normalcy, but the experience haunted me. I began my own investigation, digging through archives and reports related to the fire towers. I discovered a pattern of strange occurrences and sudden closures. Each incident was dismissed as routine, but I felt there was more to the story. I found a report from 1978 about another tower, decommissioned under mysterious circumstances. The last observer, Arthur Jennings, had been moved to a desk job, but I needed to know what he had experienced. The encounter with Arthur. When I finally contacted Arthur, he was reluctant to speak, but once we met, he revealed that he had seen similar things during his time at the tower. He warned me to forget what I had encountered, to leave it behind. But I couldn't. I pressed him for details. He described a presence, a dark figure that would stand silently outside the tower. It was always watching, but never aggressive. I realized this was the same experience I had endured. The thought chilled me to the bone. The truth unfolds. Arthur shared his findings from his personal journals, which detailed the same nightly visits. The creature was not there to harm. It was studying the fire watch equipment. It was fascinated by the firefinder, the very device I used. The realization hit me hard. This entity was not just an apparition. It was something more, something that defied explanation. I had stumbled into a mystery that transcended the natural world. I needed to dig deeper, but I could sense the danger closing in on me. The final revelation. As I continued my research, I discovered more accounts of similar sightings linked to celestial events. The creature's visits coincided with meteor showers. It seemed to be using the fire towers as observational points, aligning with the stars. I realized that I was part of something much larger, a cosmic puzzle that involved more than just my experience. The truth was terrifying. It suggested that these beings were not mere figments of imagination, but entities with a purpose. I had uncovered a connection that could lead to unimaginable consequences. Conclusion. I had crossed a line, and now there was no turning back. The knowledge I possessed was dangerous. I felt the weight of their gaze upon me. I was no longer just a witness. I was a target. I could no longer trust anyone, not even the Park Service. I had to disappear to escape the impending threat. As I reinvented myself in the bustling city of Chicago, I was haunted by the stars. I had seen too much, and now I could never truly be free.